Good morning, people. Good morning, good people. Today is Sunday, May 26th, 2024. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning, just after 6. This is Department of Career Services. My name is Edward Bevilacqua. And here we go. This is G.school. So Monday through Friday, we focus on the mental, physical, and emotional parts of our program. Weekends, we focus on the spiritual part, the most important part. So if it was like a ship, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're focused on the sails, the steering mechanism, the below deck, why those are important, why when you're building your ship, you've got to take that into account. The number of people on your crew, their purpose and function. On weekends, we focus on the whole of the ship, because at the end of the day, everything could be great, but you get a break in the hull, you're going to sink. On the other hand, everything could be going wrong and the hull is intact, and you can just drift along praying, hoping that somebody's going to come along and save you. So the thing that's the least seems to be the least important. The most benign is actually the most important thing. Good morning, Carla. Good morning. How are you today, Carla? Got these crazy callers bending under. So this is, I think, the first time Carla's been the first person. And there is Rebecca. Rebecca, my favorite person named Rebecca. Good morning. I don't think Wadabevi's going to be here. Totally awesome. Okay, well, I have an idea. I'm waiting for Mitch to get on before I talk about the idea, because the execution involves you people. So anyway, that's where we're here at G.school to talk about the most important thing, the spiritual thing. And I would advocate for a Copernican revolution. And the question is how to get that across to people without them running in terror, because it disrupts their view. Okay, so what did you do with the old fuel pump? Carla, what did you do with the old fuel pump? Is it fixable? Is it replaceable? I am taking Kaylin to work, then take people to church. What time does Kaylin need to go to work? Okay, Mitch has joined us. Matt has joined us. The Undersergeant has joined us. Good morning. Not sure if Wadabevi's going to be here. I kind of got the impression she has to be at work. Okay, does anybody know about Mitch? Whether Mitch will be joining us soon, because I'm kind of waiting to talk about an idea I have, to see what you people think about the idea. And okay, good. Mitch is on board. Good morning, Mitch. So we've got 4 of us. I think Wadabevi is on her way to work, or she is at work. Yeah, I think she starts at 9 o'clock at her high-tech car wash. Kaylin needs to be at work at 7:30. Okay. Good. All right. So Plan A. Okay, Plan A. Frank Esposito is a big supporter of what we do and a big fan of you guys. So as most people are telling me, why are you wasting your time? You can do more important, better things. Frank is saying, keep fighting the good fight. Disregard what these haters are saying. Disregard the people trying to stop you. And so he's always been a big supporter. You know that he brings the cookies on Wednesday. Thursdays, every other Thursday, he's out picking up trash for the homeless people, giving them garbage bags, doing what he can. He's actively involved in the wraparound. All around good guy. He has his church in Tacoma, which is about an hour away. His church is open from, Labor Day in September? From Labor Day to Memorial Day. Then it gets too hot out there. And so he's closed during the summer. This is the I propose that we go to church at his little church in Tacoma. We used to go regularly. Matt would agree. We used to go there every other week or once, at least once a month, but I think twice, maybe 3 times a month, we would go out to his church. And I propose that we go to his church today. That is only the people that can fit in. Oh, Wadabevy is here. Only the people that can fit in Carla's car. What say you people? Carla, Mitch, and Matt. Oh, Carla, Mitch, and Rebecca. What do you say about that idea? Waiting. So, Wadabevy, are you at work? Love it. What does Carla say? Carla says, love it. Great. I put the cheese out. You guys didn't take the cheese. Good job. Okay, very proud of you. Very proud. I thought someone was going to say, well, I was going to clean out the refrigerator today. So this is the thing about sacrificing for other people. Sacrificing for other people. And the side benefit is we'll go to Chider Ranch. Now, the bad news is we have to go in Carla's car because it's too risky taking Leo's car. Why is it too risky? Because if it breaks down, we're going to be waiting 8 hours for a tow truck out there. Okay, so what I propose is I will be there at 8:45, and I will leave Leo's car. We'll go in that car. I will stop at Walmart to get something because he has a little food afterwards, and then maybe we'll go to Chider Ranch after we go to church. China Ranch is an oasis out in the desert. It's an actual oasis out there. So, Wadabevy, nope, I'm about to head out to the meditation group. The stream is buffering. Okay. Did you ask if I'm at work? Yes, I did ask if you're at work. I thought you were at work. So, okay, 9 minutes in, Sunday, a lot of things to do. What time is Frank's church? 10. We have to leave before 9. And it's at an old-fashioned country church. My life is my work. Okay, you mean your work is your life? Matt's been there before, and Matt went on the walk. I think Matt, I don't know, did you make it all the way from the walk from Frank's place to China Ranch? The back way? there's an old trail that goes from Frank's church to China Ranch. It's about a 2-hour walk. Not a bad one, but we can't do it with Rebecca in the state she's in. But it's a good walk through ancient riverbeds. Let's say it that way. Okay, cool. So, turned in the first draft of the first part of my paper yesterday, working on it. Thank you, everyone, for not having any emergencies that I had to deal with. Appreciate that. Okay, good. So Matt can give rides to people going to church. Appreciate that. Can you guys see if Mitch, don't you? Who's it that normally reaches out for the van ride? I'm going to text Tony to tell him that I won't be there today because of it's Frank's last day of church, which also means I won't be able to go any other church today. But that's okay because this is I enjoy going to Frank's church, but we can talk about that later. Okay, let's talk for a couple minutes, about 4 minutes, about Christology. So for a couple weeks now, I'm reading the lesson plan in Christology, where the idea is to learn about the historical Jesus. It's not about proselytizing. It's not about evangelizing. It's not about what you need to believe. It's not about religion. It's who is the person, who was the person of Jesus that walked on the world. And I will tell you, oh, Tony's easy. Okay. Would you reach out to anyone else or still reach out to Tony, Mitch, to say, can the people get a ride? And it's important that we give them the opportunity to pick up our people. And again, I'm going to reach out to him saying, going to Frank's church. It's his last service. Let's see. So back to Christology, the person of Jesus that walked on the earth. And the interesting feedback just drove on. Okay, the interesting feedback is that a lot of people, you ask them a question and they immediately lock down on, no, Jesus is this immortal creature that was here and we worship him, kind of like you get in the churches. Like people don't want to have a discussion about who was the person that walked on the earth. So you'll say, well, why wasn't there any indication of his greatness when he was growing up, right? Why aren't there stories of before the baptism? Why isn't there stories of all of these things he did as a child? And people will believe there were. You say, okay, well, what? Oh, there's this one instance. Okay, there's one instance that's only mentioned in one place, whereas some instances were mentioned in multiple places. You know, in 4 of the Gospels, or at least 3 of the Gospels. 4 of the Gospels for the baptism. All the baptisms talked about the baptism. All of them talking about the crucifixion. All of them talking about resurrection. But only one Gospel mentions one time, one thing Jesus did before he was baptized. So from a Christology thing is you don't say it's true, but you don't say it's false, but you don't say, well, it was mentioned one time in one gospel, therefore it's true. You look for any other things in the gospels to see, well, is there anywhere else that it says that it's not true? And there's a couple points in there. My point is that people locked down on what they want to believe. So it's a little bit interesting cracking that nut. So, for example, as to Jesus's divinity before he was baptized, there's one time and one thing that says at one time the teachers, the priests in the temple were amazed at how much he knew. Well, they might have been amazed how much he knew as a 12-year-old. Like most 12-year-olds know 0, he knows 1. Wow, pretty cool. On the other hand, there are other places when he's preaching, other places in multiple parts in the New Testament, multiple Gospels, where it says the people said, "Who is this guy? Is this the carpenter, or is this the woodworker from Nazareth? Is this Mary's son? Is nothing good comes from Nazareth?" And then the other part where his family wants to come and get him and take him away because they think he's crazy. So from a Christology thing, you'd say, well, you got all of these things saying this preaching is different behavior. This is not the guy we know. And there's one instance where he says they were amazed at how much he knew as a kid in the temple. People cling to this. When you talk about this, they lock down. So part of the thing in Christology is to get people, okay, just be open-minded. We're not saying anything, because what should be important is, was Jesus who he said he was? Is he the creator incarnate? That's what's important, not what did he do as a kid? So I had one person who was a pastor say, well, he always knew he was God. He just didn't want other people to know. So I said, so he was being deceitful. Because I think in another place in the Bible, it said God is not going to trick people. He's not going to be deceitful. He's not going to deceive you. Well, why would he be deceitful? Why would he do this? That doesn't make sense. Wouldn't things have been better if his ministry had lasted longer? Yeah, but he had to die for the sins of people. Well, where does it say that in the Gospels? Versus he was attacking the priests. He was undermining their power. And that the ruckus he did in the temple of overturning the carts, the tables, wasn't about the show. The ones who killed him. And he knew it because in many places in the Gospels it's saying they were after him. He knew they had to leave because they were after him. They wanted to arrest him. Things like that. That's in multiple places. So, and he doesn't ever say he's dying for the sins of the world. What he basically does is he comes to, it appears in more likely stories, it appears he knew they were going to get him, and he had that Socrates choice, the Malcolm X choice, the John F. Kennedy choice, the Martin Luther King choice. I can either shut up and live, the Achilles choice. I can shut up and live. I can have a long, mediocre life or a brief, glorious life. So I can die for my convictions. I can have the courage of my convictions. I can do that, but it's not going to last long, or I can go the other way. So theologians will tend to say, well, he was actually, it was very clear they wanted to arrest him and he could be killed. And if he kept doing what he was doing, they probably would kill him. That's more likely than interpreting from the gospel, from what Jesus said. Interpreting from the Gospels that he knew he was coming down, he was sent by God to die for people, for the sins of everybody, past, present, future. Now that part, he came to die for the sins of everybody, past, present, and future. You can pull that out of the other parts, the Paul parts of the New Testament. But you can't really pull it out of the Gospel. So the question in Christology is, how do we crack that nut where people are just put their beliefs off to the side and go from there? And we're out of time. The church van just drove by. Probably not. because I don't think the church van has any markings on it, does it? This is Trinity Church. Does it do that? Or is it just a white van? You saw a white van drive by. Okay, I can understand van pick up people for youth group. Okay. Wow, that's pretty early. Cool. Good for them. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to get on the Peloton. I already have my sheets in the washing machine because that's how I roll on Sunday. Mitch, you need to spread the word to people. No dirty dishes in sinks. No dirty dishes in sinks. If we need to find a way to get dishwasher soap, we need to find a way to get dishwasher soap. We cannot have people come and do inspections or show the place around and other people have dirty dishes in the sink. That's a big problem I have. Okay, so with that, everybody, thank you. Good job on being upbeat to be supportive of Frank and his church. I wish there was a way to take more people out there, but Matt's car is not really, it's a one-person transport car. And Vada Bevy, Bink, Bonk, Om Niva Shivam, chanting with tones. Okay. All right, everyone. I will see you at about 8:45. I got to go to Walmart and get something as food-like substance for Frank. Don't anybody send Frank a text. We want to surprise him, but I will send him one so he knows that we have people coming out. Okay? And with that, and cut. And cut. Pray for those who are trying to stop us, especially Sergeant Duncan. Let's keep her in our prayers.